Hey, hope everybody's good. So I've been seeing a lot of news recently about agentic coding assistants and agentic coding loop tools. So I built an agentic coding loop in Cursor, and so I just wanted to make a really quick video showing how this works. Um, so I'll just briefly talk about this, and then we'll go ahead and start running the query. So I used Cursor agents, Cursor hooks, and Cursor skills to do this. So I set up a subagent in Cursor called afterhours. And what this subagent does is it will loop anywhere between 3 to 5 times. And on each loop iteration, it spawns a 3 to 5 subagents for each loop iteration. So, and what are those 3 to 5 subagents? So, I've created like a mixture of experts like backend API, auth, DataDB, migrations, quality, front end, config, product UI. And we also are using the default cursor subagents. So the subagent explorer or the subagent general purpose, or I believe there's a bash shell subagent that we're using too. So if I use the keyword after hours in the chat, um, it'll go look through these subagent instructions and then pull in the skill. So we have a skill that goes along with the subagent. And these are the files that this subagent creates. So we have the markdown file, that's the subagent instructions. We have a log. So each iteration of the agentic coding loop, and let me go ahead and start this now so I can show you guys. So for now, what I'm doing is I'm giving a simple task, just run after hours to check the driver implementation. I need to prepare the code to migrate to production. You need to go find how we implemented driver ID and give me the code blocks and new files I need to add. So I'm just going to let that start running. And so really what happens is every time we go through a iteration loop, this hook fires. So there's a session that happens, right? And then that session, when the session's done, it sends a stop event or a stop signal, right? And what this hook is doing is this hook is looking for this stop signal. Here you can see these are the subagents starting to spawn. So this looks like a discovery agent spawning here. Looks like it used the default discovery agent. Now we're spawning additional subagents. So we got the DB migration scan here, subagent. So what this hook does is it looks for when the session is done. And when the session is done, pretty much that hook fires and it will start another loop, right? Here's another agent that it's spawning a quality test scan. And so this is a hook that looks for stop events. Then another important hook. So what I realize is with the agentic loop coding, number one, what I found is GPT 5.2 codex extra high is the best at long running agentic loop coding. And it's interesting because usually these subagents will spawn simultaneously, but it looks like they kind of spawned in sequential order here. But one thing I noticed is there's a lot of like emergent behavior. So sometimes when I'm doing this agentic loop coding, sometimes it's doing things that I like, sometimes it's doing things that I don't like. So what I did was I also created a block main commit hook. So what does that hook do? So really what that hook does is at any point in time, if the agent during this agentic loop tries to push to the main branch, this hook will identify that and block that from happening. And so this makes me feel comfortable when I'm running this agentic coding loop. So here it looks like it's about to write to the log file, and then we can check out the log file together. And these are different skills that I also have that I just want to show you guys. So I also have a Git skill. Here it is writing to the after hours log. But this is a Git skill, and this is any Git commands that I run. I loaded that up in as a skill, and these are all inside of the dot cursor hidden directory. And then I have a Kubernetes skill with all my Kubernetes tasks, or all my Kubernetes commands. And then I have a Kafka skill with all my Kubernetes Kafka commands. And so, cool, it just wrote to the after hours log. So let's look. So hook turn 1. Status, interesting, aborted. I think that's from the pre-hook. So we have a pre-hook that creates new files. But we'll have to look into this. But here's the coordinator. So I have one coordinator that's managing all of the subagents. So let's see. So signal, driver ID, ingest writes, and event media portraits. Got it. Reports enrichment, expects. So it's kind of looking at all of my services. So I have 13 microservices, some front end stuff, some back end stuff. And so those mixture of sub agents helped me quickly, look at both the front end and the back end, and consider all of that, right? So let's see. Reviewed ingest reports, front end accounts, migration checklist, and plan DDL for driver ID flow. Okay. Decisions. Treat this turn as discovery. No code changes yet. Cool. So this was a discovery turn, it looks like. I maybe shouldn't have told it to give me all of the code blocks because it's really, really slowing this down. Okay, boom. So the hook just fired. So I'm going to show you guys this. Let's see. If I go to settings and then I go to hooks, you'll see that the hook, the afterhours.sh, that was that bash shell script that looks for the stop event and then starts the loop, right? And so here you go. Here's the loop starting again. And I maybe shouldn't have used codex extra high on this because it's going to be like a super long time before this video's over. But here you go. Here's the subagents. So we launched a backend API driver scan, a DB migration scan, a quality test scan, an infra ops scan. And so this is pretty awesome. All of these subagents are running right now at the same time. And so now, really, as I tune this, what I'm going to be doing is as I keep going through the code base, understanding the code base deeper, right? Think about, all right, if I needed to assemble a team, what type of people would I hire, right? And that's how I'm going to design my mixture of subagents. Now, this is me using custom subagents and custom agentic looping. But you also can use the cursor built-in subagents. All you have to do is tell cursor to spin up the subagents. Now, you do want to be careful, with these subagents, it will burn tokens, right? So just more tokens than if you were not using subagents. So it's just important to understand that. And make sure you don't get crazy, with tons of agents and rules and skills because things can get really kind of out of control fast. And so here you can see we added more data to the log. So we're still on hook turn 1. There we go. Loop count 0, right? And it's still running here. And we also have a pre-hook. So while that's running, I'll show you the pre-hook. Let's see. I don't think I opened it. Let's go back to hooks. After hours prep. Okay, so what does this pre-hook do? So we have a file called after hours mode. And what that file does is pretty much if that file is created, we know to keep looping. So here you go. Here we're on loop 2. And guys, I really want to keep the video under 10 minutes, and it's unfortunate. Next time I do a video like this, I'll do it with an agent that's faster. But now here you can see we're on loop 2. We're spawning another 3 to 5 subagents. So anyways, guys, if you're interested in agentic, and the last thing, my thoughts on this is that I don't think it would be interesting to get open source local models, running locally, and have those in an agentic loop running 24/7, and see what happens. Now, what I think is I think that the models are not smart enough yet to be really, really good at this. I have seen some really interesting emerging behavior though, where it has like this emergent quality where it'll do these really interesting things that I really find valuable, but then it'll do these really interesting bad things that I don't find valuable at all. Um, and so for now, I think, me like steering just a single agent unless I'm doing discovery. I think if I'm doing discovery, subagents is awesome. If I'm really doing precise work, steering a single agent and understanding the code base is maybe better for me, at least for right now. But anyways, this was a video on agentic loop coding using cursor agents, hooks, and skills. Thanks.